Hey, hey, we are live and it is Thursday. So I bet y'all thought I wasn't coming back. It's been like 3 weeks and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But let me see who's in there in the house tonight. Carrie, number one. Carrie, you've been here for a few minutes pulling the boat up to the live stream. So awesome. And then Juliana's in the house. Crashing thunder and lightning, torrential rain here in my part of North Carolina. My street looks like a river, and so does the front of my house. Yeah, it's we had a 5 minute downpour earlier today. It's kind of been threatening here all day. We didn't get really anything, and then all of a sudden, it pretty much dumped all the rain on us at one time. The streets were kind of flooded and the whole 9 yards. Um, so it was pretty it was pretty crazy for just a few minutes here. So glad you're here too. And the chat is now open. So Carrie says, what do kittens use to make coffee? A percolator. So awesome. So anyway, it's been a minute since I've been live, and Cindy's in the house tonight. Hey there, Cindy. It's good to see you. Yeah, the bottom of the bucket did fall out in North Carolina and South Carolina. So I'm down in South Carolina, and Juliana's up in North Carolina a little bit further away. So and Paula is in the house. Hey there, Paula. Good to see you here too. So 3 weeks ago, some of you know this, some of you may not, but my mother went in the hospital to have heart valve replacement surgery. And she's doing fine, so thank God for that. She did not have to have like the open heart surgery or anything like that. They're able to go in through the groin area and replace the heart valve. Then they told her about 44 years ago when my brother was born. Well, let's see, 40, yeah, a little more than that now. But anyway, they told her back then that she would need to have that done eventually. And now 45, 46 years later, she had it done. So, but she's doing great. And so obviously I wasn't here live that night. And then the next week I stayed with her for a few nights because the doctors, of course, wanted somebody there with her. I don't know if any of y'all have had surgery or not. I had a hiatal hernia surgery from lifting weights and heavy lifting. And I knew the moment it happened. And then I kind of put it off for a couple years on having it done. And when I finally had it done, I was working at a corporate job at the time. And so I figured I was going to have surgery done. I'll be back to normal in a couple of days. They said, yeah, it's going to take you about 3 weeks or so to get back to normal. I'm like, it's not going to take me that long. And the next morning when I got up out of bed, I almost couldn't get up out of bed. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I went back to work 2 days later and then ended up having to stay home for about 4 days after that because that is no joke. That surgery is no joke. And so anyway, yeah, she was pretty rough there for a few days, but she's much better now. She's back to normal. She's ready to start driving and doing all the things again because she can't, she likes being home a lot, but she doesn't like being cooped up when she can't go anywhere if she wants to, kind of like me. And people talk about cruise ships and all that kind of stuff. And, it sounds like fun, but I'd rather go somewhere knowing that, if I get to a destination, I can leave and walk around instead of being cooped up somewhere where I can't. So I must have got that from her. But anyway, she's like, please come get me. Let's go to the grocery store. Let's go do something because I can't stand this. But anyway, she's doing great now. But also, y'all probably saw the menu. I did a post on all my social media with the diet they gave her. It's supposed to be a diabetic diet, and it's got over 100 grams of carbs. And basically it's 80% of it was carbs. But anyway, y'all probably saw that. But so anyway, I appreciate all y'all's thoughts and prayers. And she is doing great. And I really, really appreciate all the kind words and everything. I've really got a great community here, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I appreciate you praying for her and thinking about her and everything like that. So anyway, everything's back to almost normal, but got way behind on that. And then hope all y'all had a great 4th last week, and ate plenty of good meats and plenty of good sides and all that good stuff. So, and I appreciate y'all being here tonight. And hopefully I'll do more of these in the future. I had a guest lined up for the night of her surgery that I had to cancel on, but they did it a little quicker than they thought they were going to have to. So, that's what happens in life. You just adapt. So we adapted to that, and now life goes on, and she's much happier and feels a whole lot better now that she's home and recovered and eating good food again. So anyway, Mary's in the house. I'm glad you finally caught a live also, Mary. And hey, Lynn in the house. Hope you're doing well as well. Nancy is here. Hello from the Pacific Northwest. Well, I appreciate you being here, and greetings to you from the South. Yeah, the bottom of the buckets fall in your area sometimes. Huh? Yeah, I bet if you get rain down there, it is pretty rough. Carolyn, I am so glad to see you here. If y'all are in the private Facebook group and you know Carolyn, she's always in there posting recipes that she does, and when she posts mine, they look a whole lot better than they do when I make them. And Carolyn had kind of a scare also. Her blood sugar got really, really low, and she had to go to the hospital I think it was night before last, and then have some more tests done to find out what was going on. So good to see you here, Carolyn. I'm glad we'll talk more about that in the group. Netherlands in the house tonight. Good evening to you. Appreciate you being here. Must be pretty early, or no, early there for you. Yeah. Early, midday, I'm not quite sure. I don't know what the time difference is there. But yes, Cindy, thank you so much. Carrie, thank you so much. Yes. And I told her about all y'all. Thinking, I'm like, there's a lot of people out there praying for you and thinking about you that you don't even know. And so she's like, well, tell them thank you. So thank you. Hey, Amy, good to see you here tonight. Colette is in the house from Slidell, Louisiana. I have been there before. I'm glad you made the live too. So, Carolyn, thank you again. I'm so glad you're doing well. So it was great news. I haven't heard it. Hiatal hernia, the VA says is small. I have an inguinal hernia that's the shape of an orange. I've had a bladder stone that's 30 centimeters and a kidney stone is 18 centimeters. Whew, that sounds painful, but good. At least they're going to do something about that. Yeah, this shock therapy for stones and things is amazing. So I'm glad they're going to get that taken care of for you. Transforming Progress in the house. Greetings to you. Time for me to get back up to NYC at some point. I love it up there. Some great food up there, and there's always something to do. There's not a lack of anything to do up there, that's for sure. So yes, and the hospital menus are absolutely terrible, and they kind of go hand in hand with food subsidies and things like that too. It's kind of a set thing, unfortunately, just like school lunches are. You don't have as much say so in there as you think. And I had to sneak her in some food. I had to sneak her in like the Redmond's real salt that you brought when I met you for breakfast one day. I had to sneak a little Redmond's real salt into the hospital for her because she couldn't have salt, and she's like, I can't eat these green beans without salt. I can't do this. I'm like, I'm gonna smuggle some salt in for you. So I smuggled in some salt in there for her because they wouldn't let her have that, but they sure let her have as much carbs as she wanted, and cake and pudding and all that kind of junk she wanted. So Um, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, hurricane season is upon us. So yeah, we had a little tropical storm down there on the coast. It really went more up into North Carolina, I think. It hit us here in South Carolina down on the coast, which is about 4 hours away from me, but we didn't get anything at all. So, um, it kind of bounced off us. Went in North Carolina, they got about a bunch of rain. That was about it. Hey, from Bridgewater, New Jersey. I love your recipes. Well, hey there, Greta. Yeah, I'll be up your way in about 2 months visiting New Jersey. So, not too far from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. That's right. Yeah, that whole Gulf Coast down there, that's pretty cool. I went down um, to Gulfport, Mississippi, right after the hurricane. I can't remember what it was. It was a big one. Did a huge amount of damage down there. Went over to New Orleans then, and my brother-in-law at the time he was stationed down there, and we went to New Orleans. They had a curfew. It was so bad, we had to be out of there by 6 p.m. They didn't let any of the Marines in after 6 p.m. They had a whole citywide curfew and everything. So it was rough going down there and seeing all that destruction. And that's a great area right there. Thank you, Cindy. Yes, y'all please hit the thumbs up on this and share this. If you know anybody that might have any questions about anything that I might know a little bit about or a lot about, so, dealing with the VA and red tape's a mess. I have to wait for when they're going to do the procedure. Yeah. Well, Carrie, I hope they get that done quick for you because I know that will be painful. So I hope they get that done. Hey, Barbara, listen while I wash the dishes. Well, hopefully, hopefully you don't drop any dishes. Maybe I'll try not to do anything real loud or anything. So don't want to scare you, but no. Man, dishes are my least favorite thing to do, but they are essential for what I do. But I mean, it's every day, whether it's like testing recipes or just cooking in general. Today, I knew I wasn't gonna have a whole lot of time, so I just took I think I had about 4 pounds of chicken and just threw that in the crock pot with some bone broth, some seasonings and stuff, and um, so I'll have that later on tonight. But um, yeah, dishes are the bane of my existence. But it's necessary. Our state has flooding issues in Mabane, North Carolina, and 4 other counties. Yeah, and yeah, there's been some bad flooding lately too. So hope y'all stay safe up there. Hey, from Biloxi, I've been there too. That's that same area. Love that. Risa's in the house tonight. Hey y'all, outside making smashed tacos and Wagyu cheeseburgers. That sounds amazing. What time we eating? I might not have that chicken. I might come eat that. That sounds good. Yep, that's it. Yep, thank you. That was Hurricane Katrina. That was right after the Hurricane Katrina. Sure hope you're able to have a cookbook sooner than later. Yeah, it may be a little bit later. I'm following my buddy Chris Cook in Nashville, following his cookbook journey. It takes a lot of time and a lot of energy to do it, much more than I thought initially. But um, do have some news coming for you on the best I can do right now. But yeah, cookbook is a lot of time, and with the schedule I'm on right now, it will probably be a little later rather than sooner. Now that I've had a chance to look into a lot of the logistics of it and the things and the publishing, and you can self-publish them and things like that. You have to write the whole thing, and so I'm definitely going to do one. That's for sure. It's just a matter of when, and um, you know when my schedule changes enough to where um, I'm able to work on that a little bit more. Hey, Dory, I'm glad you're here also. I don't know if you're here on Facebook or here on YouTube, but I appreciate you being here. Carrie, I saw all those thumbs going up, so I do appreciate that. And Felicity said, I started your GLP-1 regimen 2 yesterday. Awesome. That is making a big difference. I've gotten so many great comments about that. And then a lot of people too. Now, let me just say this, and I should have mentioned this in the video too, that if you are sensitive to caffeine, whether you're doing the Ozempic drink or you're doing the Unimate and Balance protocol, either one, the Unimate has a little bit less caffeine than the Live Mate does, and so, but it has more chlorogenic acid. So it's kind of a toss up. But if you're sensitive to caffeine, start with about half that dose. And the chlorogenic acid and everything is one of the main things, especially with the brain and GLP-1. But it does have some caffeine naturally in there. And so that's where that energy comes from. But it's a different energy than the coffee, if y'all don't know about it. But if you're sensitive to caffeine, or if you don't drink coffee regularly or anything like that, then I'll probably make a separate video about that, because I really want to mention that to people. And I really should have put that in the first video. But start with about half the amount of the, if you're doing the Live Mate, do a half scoop of that. If you're doing the Unimate, do about a half pack to start with. And you'll find it's a different energy than coffee. It's not like a jittery type thing, but if you are brand new to caffeine, it does have some in there. So, and the couple people that I've suggested that to about taking half of it have still done well and seen the results from that. So, but I really wish I'd mentioned that to begin with. But it's the thing about YouTube, like my early videos, people used to always say, you didn't even taste the food at the end. I'm like, I'm brand new. I know it tastes good. I didn't know you want to watch me eat, but I'm learning. So anyway, I was so against that. I'm like, y'all really don't want to see me eat. It's like a Tasmanian devil type situation. But people kept saying, yeah, just take a bite of it and to make sure. I mean, I know it's good. I try not to put out anything that's bad. But tastes are different. Somebody did that ketchup recipe the other day, and they don't like the allspice and the clove in it. But it's just a matter of taste. You just leave that out. But I try my best to put out good recipes. So got to keep Old Yeller clean and ready to use. That's right. And I had I forgot what video it was. It was just one I did a couple weeks ago. But Old Yeller was full of watermelon, so I didn't get to break it out. I'm like, man, it's crazy. But Juliana says, what do you think of the carnivore diet and ketovore? Okay, well, I have mixed thoughts about it. I think it's really good. I think it's really good for a short time. I think it's really good as an elimination diet to kind of see if you might have any food allergies or sensitivities. The way the downside of it, and if you I may put out a short about this too, because I think like I've always said, there's a whole spectrum from dirty lazy keto all the way down to the lion diet, which is just meat and salt and water. And I would say if you're doing carnivore or you're doing ketovore and it's working well for you, awesome. Personally, I like it as an elimination diet to see what kind of sensitivities you might have to certain foods for a short time. I don't see it as a long-term sustainable thing, even though there's a lady out there that is a farmer. I think she's in Texas. Maybe she's like 85 years old, and all she's eating is meat for all her life. So, if that works for you, great. I need variety. I like to enjoy my food. I couldn't imagine the thought personally of having to eat a steak every single night. I like to have a steak once a week, sometimes twice a week, maybe. But I really, really enjoy it when I do. And to me, food is a thing that you don't want to be addicted to it, but you do want to enjoy it. It's a big part of life. It's a big, traditionally families have gotten together over meals and, celebrated and things like that. And I think that needs to be a part of your life. You need to have joy in your life. And it would not bring me joy to sit down every single night to a steak. Well, number one, I couldn't afford it every single, well, I mean, I could, I just wouldn't be able to afford stuff I really like to do. But I couldn't imagine sitting down every night and just eating a steak every single night. Um, but I'd say if that's not for you, then I recommend like Chris's recipes. I mean, he's got some awesome recipes. I make some of those carnivore recipes myself. Um, I do think the issue that a lot of people have, and I go into a lot of the carnivore groups and things, a lot of this stuff pops up on my feed just because of what I look at online, what I talk about, what I think about. Uh, we can, my wife and I can talk about something, at dinner or whatever, and then I pull up Facebook and there's an ad for it, so they're listening, which is fine because I mean, you know, I want them to show me things that I want to see. Um, but I go into a lot of the groups and I'll see horror stories and digestive issues and just things that are going on with people. And like, well, I gained, I've been on carnivore and I've gained 35 pounds. Or, one lady in our group on our Facebook group gained over 50 pounds on carnivore. Her husband lost 30. And, you know, the thing is, when you eliminate a lot of foods, whether you're doing a vegan diet, a carnivore diet, no matter what kind of elimination diet you're doing, a fruitarian diet where you're eating all fruit, like, the sugar diet, whatever it is, when you do all that, chances are good you'll lose weight. Chances are also real good that you're going to kill a bunch of the bad gut microbes, but you're also going to kill, you're going to kill a lot of the bad ones, but you're also going to kill the good ones. Because and people will argue about this, and that's fine. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Like I said, if you do carnivore and it's working great for you, then awesome, keep it up. But microbes feed on fiber. When you don't have fiber in your diet, the microbes don't multiply, and there's biophysical reactions that need to happen within your body that the microbes control. And if you don't have enough good gut bacteria, and that's when I've been on a gut kick lately. And there's ways you can do that on carnivore, like the yogurts and things like that. But if you don't have the supporting fiber that they feed off of, you may have problems. You may not. So I think it's great. I think if you have some, really, really severe health conditions that you need to try to fix, I would say try it. I mean, I've done it for a couple weeks, at a time, every once in a while, just as a kind of a reset. But personally, I mean, if you're asking my personal opinion, I couldn't do it. I could get close, but with what I believe, I don't think it's what's going to be right for my body. But everybody is different, and everybody's different. So, if it's working for you, great. If not, maybe look into some of the gut health things and do a little research there and see, how it kind of ties in together in a lot of cases. And, if you're in some of the groups, just read some of the comments and then watch some of what Dr. Davis and I were talking about on that video about some symptoms of the gut. And you'll see it all goes back to that. And it's kind of it's something we've talked about in the community for 25 years as far as holistic health goes, but we were off base as far as we were thinking that everything was, fungal and not bacterial. And now a lot of studies are being done in the gut microbiome, and it's amazing what they're finding. And it's changing fast. It's changing super fast. So anyway, just something I'm very, very interested in, and I think is crucial to overall health. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. Texas Fry, we had fajitas tonight. Yum. That does sound yum. So you're making me hungry. I can smell that chicken down there already. So near Charlotte, North Carolina here. Well, I hope you're staying dry right there too, because you're a couple hours north of me. So happy to have found someone that loves desserts as much as I do and knows how to make them keto friendly. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's another thing too that I want to mention about, Cindy and I talked about this. I know Cindy loves her desserts too. She's in here, and you can go to the store and you can buy some packaged keto stuff, and you read the ingredient. Matter of fact, you can read the ingredients on these things. And I pulled this up earlier because, of course, they're going to show me the ads of things that I like. So see if you can see this, and I'm going to focus my camera back because I have a problem with that sometimes. But the ingredients here. So this is a supplement, right? Atkins started out really, really great. Atkins was in the 70s, and even, I think he started back in the 60s with the low carb diet and everything. But now it's evolved into something totally different. After he died, it got bought out. Now it's a big food company, basically. Atkins, I drink these because of the label, okay? Here's the label. Water, milk protein isolate, prebiotic soluble corn fiber, okay? Prebiotic fiber, that's what I'm talking about with the gut. Vegetable oil, sunflower, canola, soybean oil. Look down on that laundry list of crap. Sucralose, which I've changed my mind on now. We talked about that, I think, on my last live. Sunflower oil, more sunflower oil, canola oil, soy lecithin, carrageenan. Changed my mind a little bit about carrageenan too once I've been researching more about the gut. Stevia, okay, there we go, that's better. Come on. Can you imagine? To make sure we got the focus here. I don't want anybody, I won't be all blurry on you. But let's think back to if y'all watch Yellowstone, right? So Yellowstone is a modern day show, but they had 1883 was like the ancestors, and 1923 pushed it forward another 50 years. So, can you imagine 1883, the mom coming out and say, "Hey son, can you go fetch me some phytodione from the field so I can make us some victuals? Grab me some biotin and some potassium iodide while you're out there, and give me a little bit of carrageenan so I can fix us some supper." Come on. If your great grandparents or your grandparents didn't eat it, this is what's wrong with the system. I've made a lot of posts lately about this kind of stuff, about getting back to one ingredient foods, and that's what I wanted to do with that, because with keto, if you're going straight into keto from a standard American diet, the number one thing I missed was desserts, point blank, and I still make them to this day. I've gotten a little more metabolically healthy, I guess you'd say, or flexible. So like summertime, I'm doing some berries and some watermelon, things like that. But I want to make these things with real ingredients and not crap like that. This stuff is just not good for you. Number one, you got seed oils all through it, and I know some people say, well, seed oils are not bad, and just read the studies. Read the studies about omega-6 to omega-3 levels in the body. There's so much that we're still learning about those, but they're not even fit for some machines. They're definitely not fit for us. But so I try to make those keto friendly. Some of the sweeteners, erythritol, the jury's still out on that. I'm still of the opinion that it's fine. Stevia, I think it's fine. Allulose is great. I wish it would bake a little better. I'd probably switch to all allulose. And I'm experimenting with some things where I can. With baking times and things like that, it's just hard with browning. With allulose, it's just different. It just acts differently, and that's why I like to mix it with erythritol and stevia. But I wanted to make desserts that not only were good, but used good ingredients, so you don't buy that processed crap like that, in the store that they put a keto friendly label on, and to make you think it's good, and that stuff's just not good. So, that was my mission as far as the desserts go. So anyway, soapbox there. But anyway, I'm late. Sherry, you are here. Yes, make me sound like a chipmunk and speed up. The coffee I use is organic. I do it as a modified pour over, and the coffee is also dark, so the dark roast is easier on the stomach for GERD. So it's a wonderful tasting coffee. The only bad thing about the dark roast, once you get over a medium roast, you lose a lot of the antioxidants and stuff in the coffee. Um, have you tried apple cider vinegar, Carrie? Have you tried like a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar in the morning with in some water, um, or anything like that for any acid reflux or anything like that? I'm curious because the problem is really not that you've got too much acid. The problem is you don't have enough stomach acid to break everything down, and so everything kind of comes back up through that esophageal sphincter, and that's why you feel all that down here and even all the way up into your throat. I mean, I used to on 3 different antacids at one time, in my worst in my worst healthy time, and so and then after I learned all those things, and I told a buddy of mine, and he was hardcore. I mean, we would go. They used to have a wing challenge where you could go in, and they had these. This was before like Carolina Reaper, but whatever the hottest pepper you could eat back then was, they'd do a challenge, and they'd bring it out. They had gloves on, all this stuff, and they'd bring you 6 wings if you could finish them. You know, you could win a T-shirt and stuff like that, and that's just how hardcore that guy was. But he'd just take the apple cider vinegar and just straight, but it fixed his too, even with his bad eating habits. But yeah, give that a try if you haven't already. That might surprise you, but you may have done it too. So Texas Proud says, so far all your recipes have been great. Thank you so much. I really do try to make sure that I test them out enough to make sure they're good before I put them out there. Shoot, I'm late. I was doing a fabulous 50s cardio workout. Well, awesome. Good for you. When I was a kid, I was on an ice cream diet. I know I ate other things too, just don't remember too much about it now. Yeah, I know the feeling. I was on a sugar diet for a good 20 years or so, and I knew better. But I've been keto for 3 years. I've been doing it for 2 weeks as an elimination diet. But you're right. I love veggies, salads, some fruit. I'm just trying to find my triggers and reset. I failed at carnivore. I love salads too much. Dustin is in the house. Dustin, I'm late. I see that was 7 minutes ago. I hope you're still here, my friend. I appreciate you being here. Everybody says hey to Dustin. Watching from Elleria, Idaho, Ohio. I'm sorry. Just want to thank you for your wonderful channel. We love your content. May God bless you. Stay healthy, friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. I need my homemade, where are we at? There we go. I need my homemade keto dessert every night. And see, to me, if that keeps you on track, and which it does me. Like I said, I do some fruit and stuff now too. But that depends on your metabolic, your metabolic condition and other things. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it without that, because I love sweets. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, the good thing is I ain't eating sugar every night. So to me, that's a win. And I'm where I want to be as far as my health goes. And if it works for you, then awesome. It definitely works for me. Brandon, Dr. Davis, 100% is trying to find my sensitivity. We'll go back to keto starting this weekend. Thank you for answering. I can never live the carnivore diet forever. Yes, you definitely should. Maltodextrin will spike your blood sugar worse than sugar itself does. So made your berry dessert the other day, and I could have eaten the whole thing. Yeah. And now that's the problem. Now you do have to have some portion control. If you don't have that discipline, but if you're going to eat one big thing, then I would say berries would be it instead of a package of Oreos. So Chris Bear is in the house. Hey there, Chris. And y'all, if you haven't, I'm going to do a video about this soon. But I have found, we're talking about sucralose, but if y'all have not tried the KetoChow core, um, the KetoChow core is sweetened with stevia. It's beef protein. Now the difference is you have to blend it up. Um, but that is what I would recommend right now. That stuff is awesome. And Chris, I did get the chocolate unsweetened yet, but I have not had the nerve to try it. But I know you said it's great, so I'm gonna give it a try per your recommendation. But hey, that stuff is awesome, and it's in line with exactly what I like about the sweetener. The taste of it is great, and everything like that. Which I'm going to preview. And since you're on here, I wanted to mention this too. I've gotten comments from people about KetoChow, and they say KetoChow is expensive. I'm like, okay, so you can go to McDonald's, you could get four quarter pounders. Here they're about $2 a piece, so that puts you about $8. You can do a KetoChow. I think they're, if you get them, I think they're somewhere on, with everything all in, probably $5.50 for a full meal. But I have had, talking about stuff popping up on your feed, I've had, and I'm not going to name the brand, but y'all have probably seen it. You can put it down there if you want to. But I was in awe over this. So this Saturday, the video I have coming out is a kind of a copy of this, but I've seen these snack bars that have come out now. These things are like $18 a piece. Okay. And I'm like, wow, okay, $18. And I'm reading through some of the comments. They're like, yeah, but it's a full meal. I'm like, okay, I can get almost 4 pounds of quarter pounder meat at McDonald's, which is perfectly fine because they don't put any fillers in it. I can get 4 pounds of meat. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe this thing's big. Maybe, okay, so this, and like I said, I'm not putting a brand on here. Y'all, please look at stuff like this. Each bar weighs 2 ounces, plus contains approximately ½ pound of dried beef. That's a little bit of deceptive advertising to me. The 2 ounces, that's the ½ pound. So if you make your own beef jerky, you know it takes about 4 pounds to make a pound of jerky. So once you dehydrate it down, you start, like, I just made some for this video that I got coming out, which the whole recipe, if you bought everything store-bought and you were using these 2 ounce portions, it makes 10 or 12 of them for the same price. And it's super easy. But so I think I started with about 4.5 pounds ish of meat. Once I dehydrated it to make the jerky, I was down to a pound and a quarter, maybe. A 2 ounce bar for $18. You know what's 2 ounces? An egg. One egg is about 2 ounces. You know how I feel when I eat one egg? I'm mad as hell that I didn't make 3 or 4 more. That's enough to make me mad, okay? Anyway, that's just something else that popped up on my feed today I want to talk about, but that's my Saturday video, is how to make a bar that's not going to cost you $18, and if it does, you're going to get 10 or 12 of them instead of one. But anyway, KetoChow is a value. Since Chris is on here, I just want to mention that, because I got a comment the other day like, oh, that's expensive. Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's not. What can you get for $5? People are spending $8 on a coffee, and that doesn't fill you up. So anyway, rant over. Sorry, let me get back to this here. But anyway, yeah, that KetoChow core is good stuff. Coconut sugar has been good for me. I'm diabetic and it doesn't spike my blood sugar. That's good. That's something I would definitely watch, because for some people it does. And like I always say, everybody is different. And, you know, with your blood sugar, you really need to check it more than you think. Maybe even, you know, a half hour after eating, an hour after eating. maybe an hour and a half and 2 hours and just see what it does. Um, some people wear a CGM and things like that. And so that's awesome that does not spike your blood sugar. But y'all, please, if you're type 2 diabetic, just check these things out yourself and see what they do in your own body. Another KetoChow with chocolate malt and chocolate collagen. So delicious. My latest favorite. I do love that chocolate malt. That was my favorite flavor there. Keto Simple taking a short break from watching K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah, that chocolate malt is my favorite. Well, the toffee too. The toffee is great. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Apple cider vinegar messed my teeth up. I also sleep with about 4 pillows, so I don't have it much anymore. That's great. With apple cider vinegar, I always recommend, sipping that with a straw too and mixing it with plenty of water. My wife does. She actually loves, which surprised me, but she loves the taste of it. She puts it in her electrolytes in the morning and just kind of sips on it all day long, but with a straw. It's I kept telling my buddy, I'm like, dude, you don't want to keep that acid on your teeth all day. But anyway, yeah, and apple cider vinegar has a lot of benefits other than just that. But that's one of the best that people would not think because it's acidic, and you wouldn't think that if you had excess stomach acid and acid reflux and things like that it would help, but it totally does. Oh, good question for Cindy and Risa. Why you put collagen in your KetoChow? And Chris might be able to answer that also. Oh, good. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate your tips too. I went in and tried to mess with all my settings and things, so I hope that I'm glad it looks better. And yeah, collagen is good for hair, skin, and nails. That is a fact. And that, if y'all saw that bone broth video with my the one I did last week with all the chicken feet in there, that taught some collagen, some gelatin, all the stuff in there. I was chasing my wife around the house with the chicken feet. She's freaking out. That was fun. But anyway, yeah, that collagen is great for hair, skin, and nails. Absolutely. And you can get it naturally. You don't have to get the powders. But bone broth's great for that if you make it especially the way that I showed you on that video. Stephanie says, "Yep, mix it in my tea and drink it with straw." Absolutely. Half carnivore, half keto, and loving it. There you go. Hair, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes. That's right. Barbara, yes. Hey, I love your channel. I'm new to the live, but I watch you often. Yes, I appreciate you being here. Dark chocolate peanut butter, my go-to for snacks. Yeah, I love some almond butter with my dark chocolate too. Dark chocolate is fantastic. KetoChow core is in the gym. You get a good core workout with that. Yeah. You shake it up and don't use a blender, you get a workout too. But yeah, Chris told me about that. He said, make sure you use a blender on it. That works perfectly. So it takes 2 more seconds to do. Put about a third cup of mixed frozen berries in my protein smoothie to get more fiber from my microbiome. That is awesome. Yeah, I'm telling you, over the next few years, y'all are going to see a lot about this, about the gut microbiome. If you take a look over the last 10 years in PubMed, which is where you can go to find any studies about anything that you're curious about, if you want to nerd out like I do and read studies and try to, break into them and pick them apart and things, go back over the last 10 years and just type in gut microbiome. And that's PubMed, PUBMED website. And you'll see you can go back by the year and see the number of studies that talk about certain things. And 10 years ago, people weren't even talking about it. Now it's climbing, and like I said, the research is moving so fast in that it's unbelievable. But we're going to find out a lot more about how health is associated with the gut soon. I lost all my weight originally drinking those Atkins shakes, eating the bars, or any other manufacturer back then made them low carb. No, not anymore. When you know you can do better. Yep. I don't think well, I don't. I think some of those products were out when he was alive, but I don't think that was his intention. That wasn't, at least that wasn't in the books that I read back then. But I don't think he intentioned those products to be used for, a human diet. Period. Much less a good diet. Do you have a recipe for coconut cream pie without KetoChow? The thing, you can use whatever protein powder you normally use, whatever you like. You're going to need to add in some coconut extract. You can get that at Walmart or pretty much anywhere. Probably for that amount, 2 teaspoons, maybe a tablespoon of it. Just kind of taste it and get it as coconutty as you want it. And you may want to add a little bit of xanthan gum in there just for the texture. Just a little, maybe 1/4 teaspoon, something like that. So you won't have the same texture without it, but you'll like it. It's good. Yeah, KetoChow has got a couple ingredients in there that kind of help where you don't have to put in as much. You just put a pack of that in, but yeah, you can totally do that without it. Talking about pemmican, yes, that's it. And it is unbelievable to me how expensive some of these things are. Eggs, yes. Yeah, people were complaining about how expensive eggs were too for a while there. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, how many eggs can you eat at one time? Even when the price was, I mean, if it was $10 a dozen, can you get a meal off of half a dozen? Yeah, $5. Can you even eat half a dozen? I mean, I can. Some people can't. So anyway, I am not going to comment on that, Cindy. Yeah, there was another one out there too that's it's a little bit less expensive. It's a little heavier, but same deal to me. Yep, you can buy it. I think there may be a link down in the description here, or I've got a whole playlist on recipes that I've made with KetoChow. If you want some good desserts or whatever, you can go on there, and I got a link in there for that, so you can get a discount on it too. Yeah, it's on their website, but yeah, if you go find my playlist on KetoChow recipes, I've got 10 or 12 at least on there, probably more. I love KetoChow. It's got the blackberry and red raspberry. I love that you can use it in recipes. Yes, it works great in recipes. And here's a good point from Peaches. Stevia makes me crave sweets, and that's where, like I said, if it works for you, awesome. I mean, I can do keto desserts, KetoChow, any of that, and it doesn't make me want to go eat regular sugar sweets. Now, does it make me want to eat another piece of the keto one? Maybe, if I'm still hungry. But they're so filling. But that's where you got to know yourself and know where your addictions may lie, or it's something that's been ingrained in us for years and years and years. There's multi-million-dollar advertising campaigns to get you hooked on these sugary foods, and so if the keto sweets, stevia, erythritol, allulose, if they make you crave and want to go buy a whole pack of Doritos and eat it, stay away from them. Absolutely right. Good point. I'm jealous of your prices. 1/4 pounder is $8.50 on my side of Washington State. Keto is a cheap meal. Yeah, it is. So the hack for McDonald's is, and depending, you can also do it at Burger King. Wendy's will do it also. Some of them don't know how. I went into a Burger King one day and they had to call the manager, who had to call a manager at a different store to figure out how to ring this up. But basically, what you do is you go in and tell them that you want just a side of, just a patty. I just want a, quarter pounder patty. Oh, you don't want the bread or the toppings, or no? I need 4 quarter pounder patties. And a lot of times they'll ring it up as extra patty. And so, yeah, I think the quarter pounder, I don't think it's that much here, but I want to say, I know the meal here for a quarter pounder meal is like $13 or $14, and I think the sandwich is probably $6. But if they just ring up the patties, and you can get them to do that, and they'd be, well, we don't do that. Well, can you ask the manager? And a lot of times, all McDonald's, I've never been to a McDonald's where they haven't been able to do it. I've been to Burger Kings where they went and asked somebody, and they didn't want to go any further, and they said, well, we can't do it like that. You got to buy the burger and then you just throw the bun away or whatever. But they can ring up the burger and add extra patties, which should make it a lot cheaper. But that's kind of the hack for that. That sounds good. Red raspberry and classic cake donut tastes like a jelly donut. That does sound good. Ireland here. Hey, Nolene, welcome. Good to see you here tonight. Chris, they are amazing and they're crazy at the same time. So, my wife was freaked out, but yeah, in the video, yeah. Anyway, your poor wife. Yeah, I know. She's got it rough. I'll do some crazy stuff. No, I walked in, she was out. So she makes soap and bath products. That's her business. She's been doing it for full time for like 15, 16 years now. And she was out there and she was kind of like stretching. I'm like, is your back hurting or anything? She's like, yeah. I said, you want me to scratch your back? Chicken foot out like that. Ran up on her. She's like, what is that? But yeah, it's fun. And bone broth is absolutely awesome. You're right. Makes you think I'm going to cook something with chicken feet sticking out. And you got other options. I'm going to make another video with some options if you don't want the chicken's feet, using some beef stuff. But anyway, you research and we benefit from you relaying the information. Absolutely. I love doing that. That's one of my favorite things to do. I'll sit down at night and go through all the stuff that they pull up that they want me to see. I drink a kefir smoothie almost every day. One of the best cultured foods to consume. Absolutely. I'm gonna do a kefir soon also. But one thing, if you find a really good one in the grocery store, if you'll just set it out on the counter for about 48 hours, because it's kind of like store-bought yogurt, which the probiotics they use in the store-bought yogurt are not great for anything really anyway, but they have to use those two to be considered yogurt. They can't say yogurt on the package unless it contains those two specific probiotics. But the kefirs are pulled a little early also. But if you'll set it on the counter for a couple of days and give the kefir and the bacteria in there a chance to multiply even more, then it's going to be even more beneficial. And then you can use that and take a couple tablespoons of that to make your own. So I got a video coming out about that soon too. I'm going to make some. I've had a lot of requests for that, so I haven't even messed with it yet, but I want to, because I drink it from time to time. So it really is good for you. So Peaches said keto and fasting saved my life. Yes, and it really is amazing, the power of food, the power of diet, and these kind of ancient techniques. I mean, if you think about it, keto is not a new thing. Keto is the way people had to eat, thousands of years ago, because you had to eat what you could get, and if you could eat meat, great. If you had to eat some plants, great. Whatever it took to survive. And obviously meat was the choice, and that was, what most people would choose to eat. Um, you know, and they would go out and, if they found honey, they'd eat it. If they found plants to get them through until they can get, the big hunt went well for them, then that's what they did. It was survival. And babies are born in ketosis, so it's not anything unnatural. It's not even a diet. It's just a metabolic condition that happens. When you have your carbs low and add in some good fats, and so it's natural. So um, and it's amazing once you get back to some of those ancient things that are natural to the human body, that the healing that takes place versus what we've been spoon fed, and what's been forced on us for the last 100 years. Um, Make the coconut custard mini pies in the muffin tin. They're awesome. I didn't use KetoChow. Yeah, KetoChow does have some great info on their website, and they also have some good recipes on there that aren't mine. But like I said, I've got a playlist on my channel. If you go to it, I got some good stuff there that I've really enjoyed. Your video on bone broth was great. Chicken feet may be spooky and ugly, however, they're loaded with collagen. Yes. Cindy, those are cheaper. Those are cheaper and heavier. Carrie, I don't believe I'd want to build my house out of that, but hey. Carrie always comes with the funny stuff. I love it. My probiotics are on the way. I'm hoping to start the super gut yogurt this weekend. Thank you for the video. Awesome. And I went today. I'm going to do I'm doing a dairy free also. And it is amazing to me because one of the things on the super gut protocol is you don't want any of the gums that are considered bad when you're trying to rebuild your gut microbiome. Now, after, you may be able to add that back once you get that. But out of 9 brands of coconut milk that I found, there was only one that did not have guar gum in it. The organic ones, it didn't matter. And surprisingly, the only one I found that didn't have it, and I didn't go to Whole Foods. I'm sure Whole Foods has got it, but then it's probably $10 a can. But the only one that didn't have it was my store brand at Ingles. It's Laurel's their brand, but it was coconut cream and water. The rest of them had the guar gum in there. So, and that's something that if you're on that protocol, you don't do that. Even the carrageenan, that was hard for me because I normally will get the Aldi heavy cream or the Great Value heavy cream from Walmart, carrageenan. And if you're doing that protocol for the 1 month, you don't want that because of the gut. But that was hard to find. Locally, I've got there's a Whole Foods that's about 30 minutes away from me, but I don't ever go there. But I've got a raw milk dairy near me, so I can go there and get raw cream that doesn't have anything added to it. But if you go to Walmart, it's hard to find a cream without added thickeners and some of those things. So if you're not near a Whole Foods, Trader Joe's may have something, but again, that's something that's a town or two over from me, and I don't really ever go there, so it's hard. Sugar alcohol, is that no bueno? In my opinion, it's fine. I use erythritol. There's if it works for you, I'd say do it. But I use it in my blend of sweeteners. So it's a very individual thing, and what you're trying to do. If you're using a sweetener and it works for you, I mean, the definite no-nos are any of the artificial stuff you do not want to put in your body. The other things are more of an individual type thing. If it's working for you, great. If it starts not working for you, maybe back off of it for a little bit and see what works. But I mean, monk fruit's great, stevia is great. Those are not sugar alcohols, but I think erythritol is fine. I don't recommend xylitol just because if you have any pets, xylitol is deadly. If you for cats and dogs. So if you've got any pets, I wouldn't use that at all. I wouldn't. Xylitol won't be in my house. You'll never hear me recommend that. Um, but yeah, I mean, to me, erythritol is fine. It works for me. The studies that I've looked at until, and, you know, I'm never afraid to say that I'm wrong about something. And so if I find new research that says this definitive, and, of course, the mainstream media will put out things all the time that erythritol is causing heart attacks, causing strokes, blah, blah, blah. If you go into the studies, and I've done a video on this, or I kind of went down the rabbit hole in the study, found out who's funding it, even though there was no conflict of interest reported. Once you drill down deep into it, one of the studies was sponsored by somebody that it wasn't a sugar company, but it was a company that manufactured equipment to harvest sugar cane and sugar beets. So, is that a credible study? Is it credible they put erythritol in a petri dish and mix it up like this in a way that's not, doesn't duplicate things that happen in the real human body? To me, that's junk. That's junk research, and that's, in my opinion, that's not credible. But it's something, you research that yourself. I don't give medical advice. I give my opinion and things that I've learned for myself over the years. So, it's up to you to look into that, do the research on it. But it's a totally individual thing. So it's like this: KetoChow Summit because of sucralose. So yeah, that and the stevia one, probably stevia is really not. I don't ever hear anybody say that stevia has any issues as far as the stomach goes. So, again, totally individual thing. Doing carnivore for 30 days and eating approximately 10 eggs a day. Awesome. Well, Amy, I'd love to know how that goes for you. Bye, Chris. He's probably already gone. That was 13 minutes ago. Holy cow, I'm way behind here. But Chris, good. Yeah, appreciate you being here. Your thoughts on the Rebel ice cream? Okay. Well, I used to eat Rebel ice cream. I'm going to pull this up real quick. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you in real time here what I think, because I've eaten that before. I used to eat that. I used to get that all the time, and for some reason I stopped, and I'm not exactly sure why. So let me just pull it up and see the ingredients here. Why I may have stopped. Of course, this is Walmart, and I can't even see the ingredients. Let's see. All right, so back to what I was talking about earlier about, let's go back to think about prior to, let's say 1900, okay? 1911 was the year they put Crisco out on the market. Crisco was one of the first seed oils. It was bleached, just a junk product, shortening, that was supposed to replace lard, butter. It was supposed to be a good replacement. So let's say prior to that. So let's just see. And then I'm going to say the sugar alcohols are kind of in a different category because, if you're low carb, you got to have a replacement for that. And I would say science, technology, progress on things like this that are probably better, not the artificial stuff like aspartame or anything like that. But if you're talking about a sweet product, I would say erythritol, stevia, monk fruit, allulose. Those would be the four that I would look for. If it's anything else, personally, I don't eat it, but I mean, some of the other things might work for you. Sulfate potassium, I cannot have it. I mean, it makes me, it does something to the nervous system. I believe that there'll be some research about that in a few years. For me, it's a no-go for sure. Anything that has that, which sucks because all energy drinks just about have that in it. But let's look at the ingredients here. So we've got, and I apologize, I can't pull this up on the screen. I'm going to figure all this out one day. But we got cream. Yep. Great. Water. We recognize these prior to 1911. Yeah. Erythritol. Yep. Falls in the sweetener category. Vegetable glycerin. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it wasn't something you would, pull out from the farm, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Egg yolks. Chicory root fiber. Now, that's an interesting one. So chicory root fiber is something I would check. I personally don't have a problem with that, but some people say it will spike their blood sugar. So like if you're type 2 diabetic or something, I'd definitely check that out and see how it affects your blood sugar. To me, I don't really have a problem with that. Milk protein isolate, fine. Now it's not a whole food ingredient, but then we're talking about a packaged product too. So it could be a lot worse, like that Atkins shake. Natural vanilla flavor. Could be, could not be. A lot of natural flavors have maltodextrin in it. That's where you kind of have to trust the company, research the company, and is that something that they're going to do, or do they care? Peruvian carob gum, guar gum, salt, and monk fruit. So, I mean, to me, this is one of the better choices if you have to get a packaged one. Would I rather make mine? Yes, because it doesn't have any of that. But as far as a packaged one, I would say if the chicory root fiber doesn't bother you and you're not trying to rebuild your gut because it's got guar gum in there, I would say that's probably one of the better choices. So as far as a packaged product goes, there's a whole lot worse out there than that one. Carolyn, you be doing coaching at any point? Well, that's that's actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight. So I'm gonna get to that in just a couple minutes. I'm gonna go through these comments real quick. I'm way behind. I apologize, y'all. Some fast food burger places have an a la carte menu. Yes. Hey, Stan, you were so wrong with that chicken foot. I probably was, but it was so funny. I was cutting them up anyway, so why not use it as, it was so fun. Hey there, Carolina from Brazil. Awesome. Brazil in the house. Bye, Reese. I probably missed you. I fry sauerkraut and bacon grease. Does that take some of the probiotics out of it? So, Teresa, there's a couple of things about sauerkraut. Number one, if it has been heated or pasteurized at any point, there's basically no probiotics in it. And so if you're doing the fermented sauerkraut like I do, or if you're getting a cold packed or a probiotic one, if you heat it up, then yes, it's going to take some of the probiotics out of it. Most of the store bought ones, if it says the things you want to look for in sauerkraut, if it says raw, if it says probiotic, or if it says not pasteurized, then you're good with that. That's going to be one that actually has some beneficial probiotics in it. Other than that, most of them are packed in vinegar. Some of them are packed in water. But if it doesn't say that and you don't find it refrigerated, then it's not going to have the probiotics in it. Chances are good. But just look for raw, non-pasteurized. That is absolutely right. Ketogenic diet was created in the 1920s as a treatment for epilepsy. It was developed to mimic the effects of fasting, which has been used. Well, the keto diet has been around since people didn't have carbs to eat. Ketosis is a metabolic function. So if you're talking about a specific diet with the epilepsy, that's different altogether. But yeah, keto is just a natural process that happens in the body metabolically. Can I put apple cider vinegar in my live mate? Yes. Love the El Roderai yogurt. More dreams, sleep all night rather than waking up. It is awesome. It is. It's a fact. Can't handle allulose. Some people cannot. I don't have a problem with it, but a lot of people say that it does give them some digestive problems. So, oh, awesome. I found a canned coconut milk at Walmart. It's just coconut and water. The brand is Iberia. Bonus, it's organic. Hey, that is good. I didn't have that at mine. They had the Thai Kitchen. They had, what's the other brand? It's another big brand that I don't know why. The only one I'm thinking about is Thai Kitchen, but yeah, all of them, even the organic ones, didn't have it. So I have to look for that one. They don't have it at mine, but oh, that's good. Day 5 carnivore and not craving sweets. Awesome. Got all my probiotics for the yogurt. Malk makes pure coconut milk. Refrigerator section is new. No sugar, no additives. Also, Sprouts has one. Can't wait to make the yogurt. Yeah, I looked at that, and I believe, check the fat content on that. I was thinking that it was, I know the coconut milk I saw was a combination of coconut milk and almond milk. I didn't see one that's pure coconut milk, but I'll have to check the other stores for that because that's great. My opinion on that Rebel ice cream is yes. Organic, native forest, simple, has no gore. Yep, and Ingles used to carry that near me, and I think now the closest place, there's a Fresh Market that carries it, Sprouts carries it, and those are both like 2 towns over from me. And Whole Foods, I think, has it too. So that is a good one if you can find that. That does not have gore gum, so that's great. That's a great one if you could find it in your. I live in a smaller town, so like the town 30, 45 minutes away from me is double the population. It's more of a metro area, and you can find a lot more stuff over there. But man, I just hate that drive because it's supposed to take a half hour. Usually, with traffic and stuff, it's usually an hour or could be even more. So. Looking forward to dairy-free yogurt when you make it. Yeah, that's gonna be. Donna is in the house. Donna's been driving, and so I'm glad you made it here. You should see my mini freezer I downgraded to since the very old fridge was acting like a heat pump. Just had to manage airflow and all my stuff. Use Ziplocs with everything. There you go. Highway accident held me up. Yeah, that stinks. It's exactly why I don't like driving over to the next town because there's always something. Thank you, Armories. Yes. Yep, I can't do the stuff, and it's generally recognized as safe as one of the loopholes that companies can get away with because they don't have to actually. They're allowed by the FDA to say something is generally recognized as safe because they independently tested it. Ask them for the paperwork on the testing that they did to say that it was safe. It's a total loophole, and hopefully things are being done to get rid of stuff like that. I don't think that's safe for human consumption at all myself, but can't do chicken rat. Yeah, see, there you go. So that's one of those individual things. So definitely test that and just see how that reacts for you. Yep. That may be why I got rid of it too, and I make my own, so I like that. I like controlling what's in there and knowing exactly what's in there too. 2 crazy ketos on the laptop. There you go. We developed recipes using nutritional yeast. What do you think about nutritional yeast? I like it. Yeah, I don't have a problem with nutritional yeast at all. It gives things a nice little cheesy flavor. I've used it in the past. I've got some in the cabinet now. I hadn't done anything with in a while. But I was trying to work on like a popcorn replacement. I haven't found a good thing to use yet, but I've still got some. I still sprinkle it on salads and stuff every once in a while. Really, I forgot it was up there till you just said that. So, but yeah, I think that's fine. It's got a lot of good B vitamins in it. So I like nutritional yeast, and it really does give. If you want to get a little cheesy flavor or just something to put on your salads for a little extra B vitamins and stuff, it's good. Just again, check the ingredients. The Anthony's, I think, is the one. I think that's the one I have. Pretty clean brand for anything. I use Anthony's dark or the black cocoa powder. Anthony's is pretty clean, so I like their stuff. 6 cans of Thai Kitchen coconut milk and Casto for $9.95. Yeah, if you're going to use that in the yogurt, though, that I wouldn't use that in the yogurt just because of the guar gum that's in that. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Can you make a video on LDL and keto? My HDL is high, my triglycerides are really low, but that LDL more than doubled after going keto. Yes, I'm going to do that. Actually, that's on my list of things to do. I've got a notebook full of stuff and ideas and stacks on my desk. I can't even show y'all because you'd be like, how does he ever get anything done with any of that? It's a mess, but that's just what happens. If I get an idea, I write it down. So yes, I am going to do that at some point. We have a local store. If you talk to the guy that does ordering, he'll order it. About anything they have open to order, but sometimes you've got to buy the whole case. Have you seen the hype about the salt drink? Well, yeah, let me know what you're talking about there. Are you talking about Salty, the electrolyte Salty? Somebody sent me a box of KetoChow. I think the big bad is chocolate peanut butter. That one is pretty good. Had Rebel in there too long and crystallized. Had to throw it away. Oh yeah, there you go. There's a good study right there. I'll have to link that down there later. Cauliflower with olive oil and salt in the dehydrator. If you have one, it tastes exactly like popcorn. Well, Kim, you might have given me a new video idea there. So, cauliflower with olive oil and salt in the dehydrator. I do have a dehydrator. You'll see it in my video on Saturday. Matter of fact, because I made some beef jerky for this affordable version of this bar. So I'm going to look into that. Only get unfortified nutritional yeast. So malt is 9 grams of fat, only 4 ingredients. It's organic, unsweetened, 100% gum-free, nothing but coconut milk. Really good. So the coconut milk I normally get, I think, is about 15 grams of fat. So I don't know how good that would work if you're making the yogurt, but I'll check that out because the one that I saw only was a combination of coconut and almond milk. So I'll check that out. Let's see. Salt, apple cider vinegar, lemon, and one other ingredient. I don't know. It's all over Facebook. Okay. I'll have to check that out. I haven't seen that. The Himalayan salt drink thing. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. I wonder if it's, it sounds similar to my electrolyte drink that I make, but it would be, let's say lemon. So you need for an electrolyte drink, you would need magnesium and you need potassium from some source. So I wonder what that is, or if it's not even an electrolyte drink, it's just a salty drink for some of the electrolytes. My hubby and I are eating your lemon cheesecake recipe right now. I had to make some more. Awesome. Well, that's one of my absolute favorites there. So, all right. Well, I think I am at the end of these comments here, so I'm going to cinnamon claims you lose weight really fast. Yeah, I'll look for that. Yeah, Donna, the only one I found today, there's some of those organic brands that are, but as far as what I saw in the grocery store, there's not. Um, like I said, the only one was my store brand, which is Ingles. It's called Laura Lynn. That's the brand. And it was just coconut cream and water, which was amazing to me that the store brand is the best of all the brands out there. That um, none of the big names are doing the things right. But hey, it is what it is. So my big announcement here. I have gotten so many requests. Um, really, since when I started this channel, I started it with the intention of creating meal plans, doing some health coaching and things like that, and it kind of evolved into because, um, with my job, we got two businesses plus YouTube, and the whole thing I wanted to do was get into some health coaching like I'd been doing in the past, meal plans, things like that, and then it kind of evolved into something totally different, into doing recipes and things like that, and going into. I didn't start it initially as really a keto channel per se, but the keto diet, the low carb diet, somewhere on that spectrum is what I think the best diet for humans to eat is, wherever you fall on that spectrum. And but the channel started as your best body blueprint, and so I did a few meal plans and things for people, and um, it's time consuming, and it's but it's good for people that really need help, don't know where to start, and there's a lot of factors that go into it, and there's a lot of things that I can't personalize on YouTube as much as what I'd like to, because I don't know your background, I don't know your personal health history, I don't know what kind of medications you're taking, and as as a certified holistic health practitioner and an herbalist and nutritional consultant, I mean, there's certain protocols that we have to follow as far as personal recommendations, and there's also things that you have to follow on YouTube is what are considered as medical advice. And so I have to generalize things a lot more than I would like to. So what I'm doing, I have opened up a coaching program and a meal plan program and an app. So I've been working on that for about a year, and I don't have any kind of fancy pop up or anything like that. But um, anyway, so I've been working on that for about a year now, trying to get an app together to where I can send you an intake form. You fill out your information, give me your whole background, your medical history, your goals, and things like that. And I can personalize a meal plan for you to meet whatever your goals are. I also suggest certain supplements you can take if you're deficient in certain minerals or vitamins or anything like that. But it's not something I can do over YouTube comments or anything like that. It's too much. So I have opened that up. I've also got a website now, which I'm going to be, and it's not done. So, I mean, it's done. It's available for you to go on right now, but it's not done as far as I'm going to have all my recipes from YouTube on there. I've always had people that want to be able to, copy and print out recipes and things like that. So I've started uploading recipes on there. So everything will be on there for you to go on and print recipes and things like that. It makes it a lot easier than copy and pasting from YouTube. And so individual coaching, we'll do a Zoom call or we can do a phone call, either way. But I send you intake forms. You have to fill out all that. So it's pretty comprehensive. And the more information I have from you, the better I'm gonna be able to help you. So I really, if you sign up with me, for that, I want you to really take time, go through the process, think about it. Don't fill it out in 5-10 minutes, and I really want you to think about it, because the more that I can get from you, the more I can help you. So, on the website, there's my fancy thing, southernketo.shop. So I've got it linked down there in the description also. But hang on. Bear with me. Figured this out last time. There we go. It's something about the phone. I guess that messed up the color or something. But anyway, so a couple different things I'm doing are individual sessions, and so we'll go on either Zoom call or phone call, and I'll also do some coaching sessions with meal plans, and that gives you access to the app, which you can download on your phone. It's now on Apple or Google. If you sign up for that, I can only take a certain number of people. So, I can't. I want to be able to personalize it enough where it's going to benefit you, and I can't take on more than 30 people in order to make that happen. So, at a time. So that's a combination of either the meal planning thing or the coaching. So I'm going to do that. That's something I've thought about for a long time. I keep getting requests for it, so I decided to put it out there. And so again, if you want to look at any of that, or southernketo.shop, you can go on there now. So that website is live. Right now, all the recipes are not on there. I've gotten some in there because I'm doing it myself, so I'm having to go in and type all the things, and so I will catch up all that. All the new recipes from the new videos will be on there as soon as the video comes out. The recipe will be on there for you, so you can go back and forth to that. So anyway, that was my announcement. So let me get through here real quick. Himalayan salt drink claims you can lose weight drinking it. There's no fast way to lose weight, not if you want to do it right. You can lose some good water weight initially, like when you first start keto or anything else. So you limit carbs, don't overdo fats, you'll lose weight. Yep, it does work. But your initial weight you lose is going to be mostly water weight. So thank you, Donna. Yes, please click the like button down there. I did keto and fasting. It took me 16 months to lose 73 pounds. And you did it the right way. So, and everybody's different. Some people will gain weight initially. Especially if you're building muscle at the time. There's everybody's a little different. And your body's gonna, once all the junk's out of there, your body is gonna decide where it needs to put it into healing. So yeah, thank you, Sherry. Super excited to hear about all these new things. Yeah, and I've got a chat feature on that app too, where you can you got direct access to me. You can ask me any questions if we need to tweak something on the meal plan or anything like that. Let me know. I've also had the ability, so like on the intake form, you'll tell me what foods you don't like, so I don't include them on the meal plan. And I also gave you the ability to, like, if you look at a recipe and you're like, I don't like that one, I'll give you the ability to auto swap it with something that's going to be similar to that. So took me 22 months on keto to lose 100 pounds. But Cindy, that is awesome. You did it the right way too. Yes, definitely. Definitely. I'm always going to be doing YouTube. Well, until I can't. But yeah, my plan, I mean, that's I love YouTube. I love sharing this information and stuff, but this is just and I'm going to continue to share all the information. This is just, for people that want some individualized help or struggling with something, or weight loss stalls, or things like that. And I try to make it as affordable as I can, but my time's valuable like everybody else's is. And so it's But again, I looked at somebody the other day and they're charging $500 for a 30-minute phone call. I'm like, well, no, you know, but yeah, I want it to be beneficial for you, so um, I'm still definitely doing YouTube, but it's just like I said, anybody wants some individual stuff that's now available, and I got the website out, so I've got all the products and suggestions that I recommend and all that good stuff. So um, Amazon shops are on there. I'm doing a blog on there. I'll do a newsletter. So if y'all want to go on there and sign up for the newsletter, I'm going to do one of those a month, and hopefully have some good, fun information on there for you. But yeah, I'm wanting to go all in on YouTube, and that's just going to be a piece for people that need some individualized help that maybe you can't get through that, and so that is available. Yep, there you go. That is a good. That is, I mean, hey, 100 pounds. I mean, how many people can say they've lost 100 pounds? I can't even say that. I mean, I lost somewhere. I usually say 75. It's probably more like 85 because I didn't weigh there for a while. But I mean, how many people can say they lost 100 pounds? That is huge. That is success, and that is the power of food and diet and doing the right things. I mean, that should be celebrated for sure. Yeah, that Native Forest, that's the brand they used to have at my grocery store, and they don't have here. Cindy, that's a great point right there. It is never too late to start, and you can't, yeah, never too old to start either. Absolutely right. that is a great question like that. Um, 2 days walking barefoot. Ouch. What do you think of grounding shoes? So the grounding shoes I like, and they actually I don't have any myself, but again, like I was talking about, my yard, I haven't sprayed my yard in a long time. And I do treat the ant hills because you step on some fire ants one time and you will never want to do that again. um, and they still get you every once in a while because they'll pop up somewhere. But so yeah, my yard, I mean, I keep it, like I said, the bare spots in my yard, I planted micro clover in there, and so I don't have any chemicals in my yard or anything like that. So barefoot is not a problem. But um, I like the grounding shoes. So that Grounding Co. Um, let's see. I don't believe they have them, but the Earthing Harmony. I think they have some shoes on there. But the thing you want with that is you want to have the silver or something on the bottom of them. There's also some socks that I saw. I'm gonna try out. I've been meaning to buy them. I keep seeing them on Facebook, and I've meant to buy a pair, and I now haven't seen the ad in like 3-4 days. So hopefully now, talking about these grounding socks, it'll pop up in my Facebook. But I'm going to order some of those. But I think they would be good because they are they're supposed to be super tough. It showed a guy like with a knife cutting them, and so I'm going to order some and see what I think about them. But I think they would work well. But it'd be easy to test out any of those shoes. Um, so like I did in the video, if you put where I put the black in the neutral ground on the multimeter, if you got a multimeter, instead of sticking it in the grounding outlet or the grounding port in your outlet, stick the black part in the ground, and then just hold the red one in your hand, and then put your foot on the ground, and then put it on those earthing shoes. And if it's the same, then you're gonna get the benefits of it. If it's not, like, you could try it with your tennis shoe and you're not gonna have that. So I think the main thing, check out that Earthing Harmony. I believe they do have some shoes. I don't own any myself, but um, I would definitely look for something like that. And if you order from anywhere, I know they've got a return policy. If you order from anywhere else, I would definitely test them out just to make sure they work, because I'd ordered a couple of different ones, some cheaper grounding mats on Amazon, and they don't work because I tried the multimeter test, and that's the thing. That's like with the EMFs. I'm going to test it. I don't, you know, you don't know where these come from on Amazon, and so I'm going to test the stuff myself to make sure they work. So I would just say anything, if you see like a silver piece on the bottom of them, it's probably legit. And even some of the other ones, if they're not rubber, because rubber won't even let electrons in. So try that too. But there's some of them. Of course, you can always email me too, and I'll take a look at them for you. But I'm thinking those socks are going to be the ticket. They look super tough, and um, anyway, um, I think those Earthing Harmony ones are legit because their bed sheets, the one I use, and it's legit. So I think that's a good company. Let's see. Um, Been on keto since January 2025. I've lost 20 pounds and keep it on trucking. Awesome. Thank you so much, Donna. I saw it down there. um, 20 pounds is awesome. I mean, I don't know how much you got to lose, but that's great. Started keto in January 2025. Lost 15 pounds so far and couldn't be happier. I go up a pound-ish and go right back down, and I'm still losing. That's another thing I always tell people is do not check that scale too often. I do it like every 2 weeks maybe, because what's going to happen is you'll go up a pound, down 2, up 1. You'll be like, oh man, I'm gaining. You might go up 4 and then down 5. So, the scale is not a good judge of what's really going on. The thing to do is how are you feeling? How are your clothes fitting? And that's what to go by. Don't go by that scale. That scale can be a liar sometimes. So let's see. There we go. There's the website right there. Good question there, Kim. I cannot answer that question because I am not a lady, but I'm reading a couple books and I've got a guest coming up that does this exact. That's kind of her specialty. So that should be coming pretty soon. Sherry, I have been busy. That's an understatement. I found out if I keep my cheese and dairy under control, I'll lose weight faster at 67. I'll be 67 in August. Hi from Pennsylvania. So you're close to my birthday. My birthday is in August also. So Armory's, yeah, this initial version is just for the meal plan. But I am working on something that anybody will be able to use eventually. This is really just for because I can only do so many people. And so I was building that out specifically for meal planning. And I do have something in the works that I'm trying to get built for the future. So for anybody that would be free or very, very low cost at the max, depending on how much it costs to build it and maintain it and everything. So hoping to have a free version in the future. Barefoot all the time. I hate shoes. Absolutely. My daughter calls her feet ground grippers, and she calls them her dogs too. Yep, that is a perfect suggestion right there. So a couple books, the Menopause Reset that she has, and Fast Like a Girl. Yeah, scroll down for 1 second. Donna, thank you so much for your super chat. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate your support always. And I hope y'all do enjoy the new website. It's, with my limited website skills, I've tried to do the best I can there. And so hopefully it's good. At least it'll get you all the recipes and all that good stuff, and hopefully some good information at the same time. My feet are so sensitive, no way I will or can walk barefoot outside, rarely in the house. See, I'm always barefoot. People always make comments on the videos like, you're cooking desserts barefoot. You know, I'm pretty much always barefoot, and I'll walk outside barefoot and everything. So, um, yep, there you go. Hey, you're welcome. So, Teresa, grounding shoes are shoes that connect you to the earth instead of insulate you from the earth, like with rubber and things like that. I did a video on grounding, also called earthing, last Tuesday. So check that out. That'll give you some more information about that. Um, but earthing shoes, that just helps you wear shoes and still have the benefits of connecting them to the ground at the same time. Had a personal trainer who was also a good friend of mine. He said, "Go by how our clothes fit." Yeah, Sherry, that's probably not good grounding out there for sure. Prefer barefoot. Tip my pedicure guy very well. I'm sure your pedicure guy appreciates that too. uh, yep, you get an app. I might just start tracking. Yeah, and I tried to design this app where you can put in your own foods. You can scan foods. As we found out from Donna is actually helping me test this thing out. But so the database that they use, so like if you scan in heavy cream from Aldi, it's a little bit different from what's actually on there. That's why I always tell people, because of, I mean, it started with Carb Manager, but I always tell people to check your own ingredients. If you want to be 100% accurate, check your own ingredients and input them, or it's not going to be right. What I use is not going to be the same as what you use. And I found out why, because the company that we use to put in all the macros, it knows that this is heavy cream. It doesn't know exactly. So it puts in an average. So the macros you put in are going to average out to be right if you're using heavy cream, but it's not going to be exact to the exact macros. So, and there's, you can go in and petition this company to change it to, but it's a lot of work, a lot more work and money than what I have to put into it. So that's why when Carb Manager goes in, people will go into Carb Manager and put in their own, they'll put in their own macros for exactly what it is. And Dr. Davis said guar gum is okay in the coconut milk. I have to check that out, because when we were talking about it, he said you didn't want the guar gum in there, but I'll go back and revisit that. I may have to message him about that. Thank you, Lynn. Hey, it's the best I can do right now. I'm gonna try to improve it in the future, but I think the important thing is to get it out there, get the information out there as best I can, and then give people the ability to get personal help if you need it, and give people a place to go for recipes, and hopefully the blog will be beneficial if you like to read, and so hoping that it'll be beneficial for everybody. Long Island Lisa saying hi to you and community. Ever hear Shiri Brescia? I have not. It doesn't sound familiar. Henri, thank you so much for your super chat. I really, really appreciate that. Y'all, this stuff goes further than helping me to maintain this channel and do things like a website, hopefully upgrade the website and things like that. So everything y'all do goes right back into this. So I appreciate y'all supporting me and the channel, and hopefully in return I can give you some valuable information too, and keep doing this for a really long time. That's the plan. Sure, I have to wear compression socks all the time. Yeah, Dr. Fung is awesome. If you want to specifically fasting information, is great. Mindy Pels is really focused on women, especially post, pre, and perimenopausal women. she is dialed into that. That's her space. And Dr. Fung that's who I listen to for, intermittent fasting advice, and who I've learned a lot from. So he is awesome. Mindy's more specifically for women and women in menopause or after, or excuse me, or pre. Oh, okay, good, good. Yeah, like I said, we were talking about gut health. 25 years ago, we didn't have it quite right back then. We were all talking about fungal, um, fungal infections and candida cleanses and things like that. And bacteria wasn't even a picture, wasn't in the picture as much back then. We thought yogurt, store bought yogurt was great, which we now know is just decent at best. So that's awesome. I have to check that out for sure. I lost about 25 pounds. I have a sweet tooth. Can't stand the texture of keto cake, so I have to employ a million hacks from apple cider, cinnamon before and rebounding, but I do not lose more. So are you doing any fasting? Cooking barefoot isn't as bad as cooking bacon naked. Just saying. I just can't show that part on YouTube. When I have an insatiable craving for sweets, it's overwhelming. I drink pickle juice. Salt will kill a sweet craving. Just make sure your pickles don't have sugar in the ingredients. And also another thing is protein. Protein is really powerful when you're having sweet cravings. Because you can overeat sweets easily. I mean, like talking about real sugar sweets. You can. I mean, I could kill a pack of Oreos no problem. And a lot of people, earlier in my life, they were like, well, I can't eat but a couple cookies. I mean, I can kill a whole pack, no problem. But you can only eat so much steak or chicken or whatever, and that may help you as well. So, Tammy, first time catching you live. Yay! Have you thought about making a cookbook? Yes, I have. It will be a little bit in the future, but I do have the website out now, southernketo.shop. I'm going to be putting it's a backlog right now, but I'm going to be putting all my recipes on there. Anything that's any recipes I have from now forward will be in there now, and I'm trying to go in and put all the old ones in there as well. So another thing I'm working on is trying to get macros in there, at least for that's on the app. I've got a few of my recipes in the app if you do the meal plans, but they don't have that part built for me yet to put those in the website. So like I always say, check them out anyway, just to make sure the ingredients you're using are exact. So Nalina says, hey, congratulations on your new website. I will check it out tomorrow morning. Oh, good night. Sleep well. Yep, there you go. They're not always exact. Thank you for what you do as well. I appreciate your support. Yep. It's a lot. It's a big time. It's a big time suck to do a cookbook. And, Chris is going to come out with a cookbook. He's working on it now, and just talking to him when he has time, which he does not have a lot of now because of working on that. There's a lot involved. There's a lot more involved than what I initially thought. As far as the way I want to do it, I want to do it right when I put one out, and so. Hey, message me. We'll talk about that. Yep, fat also helps you get through sweet cravings. Yep, absolutely. Yes, the lemon dessert, the great lemon dessert, is my favorite. Hard-boiled eggs not going to make up for yummy Southern Keto peanut butter chocolate cup. Well, that's a better That's a better choice, I guess. Used to take a whole sleeve of Chips Ahoy, drop them directly in a cup of milk. Had a cup and the amount of milk perfectly sized. Had to get rid of that cup. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, this stuff is, it's real. Have you guys checked out the books from Trim Healthy Mama? I have not. Sounds like I might need to. But yeah, for that, Mindy Pels is great. So I've got actually reading the Menopause Reset right now, because that's something as a man I'm not as familiar with. So I'm trying to learn that, because I know y'all have a lot of questions about those things, and so that's in the middle of reading that right now. So maybe we'll get her on sometime in the near future. But y'all listen. Thank y'all for being on here tonight, and check out the website. Like I said, you can sign up for the newsletter on there. It's at the very top. It says join Southern Keto family or something like that. I forget what I put exactly, but you could go on there and you can go in there and sign up for the newsletter. I'm going to start that probably next month. So I finally got this part finished, and we'll see about the meal planning and everything like that. And so a lot going on, some exciting stuff coming in the future. Make sure y'all check out the video Saturday. And, you know, hey, if you want to spend $18 for a 2-ounce bar or something, feel free. But I've got a much cheaper version for you, and I think you'll really like it. I like it anyway. So Help AI came up with a real good vanilla keto pudding. Nice yellow coloring from a natural source. Cool. Do you mean menopause? Leonard, have a good night. Thank you so much. And yeah, if y'all want the, y'all go and sign up for the newsletter. I'll get that out sometime, probably August. Maybe I'll get one out this month. We'll see how everything goes. But thank y'all. I'll be on here again next Thursday, and then check out the Saturday video. And then Tuesday is going to make a lot of people mad, because I'm talking about oxalates and the great oxalate myth. So I'm sure I'm going to make a bunch of people mad with that one. But me and Dr. Davis have talked extensively about this, and anyway, sells a lot of books. Don't think it's great. So anyway, God bless y'all. Stay healthy. Keep smiling. See you next week.